This meeting is being recorded for publication on the Thatcham Town Council YouTube channel. I've got apologies for absence.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Apologies received from councillors Lee Dillon, Dave Lunn, and Thank you. Any?
Thank you. I wondered where you was. Declarations of interest. Any questions from the public?
Then received, Madam Mayor.
Can I just like answer through you to the floor?
Yes, we are with the authority of personality for general knowledge. Anything? Sorry? Because it is a financial benefit to councillors. I think if we note it in the minutes that it was noted that it's.
Councillor Pike, bringing that to our attention. We'll take the minutes of 30th of September was read and confirmed as accurate, please. Have a couple of minutes for that. Councillor Jeffries.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'd like someone to second that. Councillor Lillycrop, all those in favour? Is that everyone? Thank you. Those are agreed. Are there any matters? Councillor Jeffries again.
Can I just cheekily sort of sneak in on this and just say we have really great, very powerful and interesting presentations, and I think that if we could actually build on that in the future, we obviously had quite so many in one particular evening. I think that everybody will they were very, very beneficial.
Thank you. Any matters arising from Councillor Stevenson?
Yes, please, Madam Mayor. The item on the RNA meeting was around trade bearing, and since I've heard that that ditch was full of water before the recent rain, can I just say the recent expenditure that was in Greenland, water has flooded out. I just wanted that noted. Thank you.
Anybody else? Right. Move on to reports from the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. Another busy session. This actually goes from September because we didn't have time to fit in the last time. So we started off with the duck race. On the Rotary Club, which was a very, very hot day, as I remember, and it's absolutely packed out. Very enjoyable. Then on the 6th, I had chai and chat at Project Salama, which they've just started, and they didn't actually have but they're building up, and obviously more publicity to get vulnerable women who are in these situations to come and attend. The Swings and Smiles birthday party was very good, attended by Chris Tarrant there, as you can see. He was very nice, and so was his wife, actually. It was a really good time. We went litter picking on the 14th. And it wasn't too bad, actually. It wasn't that much litter around to pick up. I mean, you know, a fair bit, but nothing like I expected. And lots of people came and thanked us for doing it while we were doing it, which was good. Then we went to the community cricket match, which unfortunately Thatcham Town Council didn't have a team. We're looking to sort that out for next year and be able to compete. They didn't win this year, as I remember. They usually win. I'm trying to think who has one, which they were rather there about. I think it was the Indian Society. Right, okay. Yeah, well, police were very excited. And we had a fundraiser for a little boy called Owen, who's got a form of muscular dystrophy, and an afternoon tea. And that went really well. And hopefully we, as a council, we've been trying to help out as well with their housing situation, etc. And they are hoping to raise enough money to all the equipment in the house for him that he needs, which isn't provided by the council, unfortunately. And then we went to the Vintage Adventure 3rd birthday party, which was good fun. And that was the Methodist Church, the Baptist, and someone else. They usually have these things once every couple of months. And that was their 3rd birthday party, which is why we went along. We went to visit Trinity School and had a look around because we haven't been there since our children were there. We were very interested to see how they've progressed, and it was a very interesting visit. Really well. 2 coffee mornings, one at Bucklebury Hall and the other at Alice by Port. And we went to see the Kirk Jackson exhibition at the base, which was fantastic. We bumped into this guy. I don't know if you recognise him. We did the hand ringers concert, which was really good. I also went to a new school called The Grange, which is a school for autistic children down at Churchgate. That was really interesting. They're doing some really good work. They've got a huge waiting list of young people wanting to go there. They do really fantastic work. Went to the College Careers Fair, saw the West Lancashire stall there. I had a visit to the Stroke Club in Wolverhampton. That was very good. And then I went to Response, which is where the old Priory used to be, and that's a unit for people with quite severe mental health needs. That was really interesting visit. I also went to the Digital Service in Reading, hosted by the High Sheriff of Berkshire. I did manage to get a photo, so it was a very interesting visit as well. There's the Thatcham Festival. I've just done a few pages of showing you what Richard and I did. There was a lot on, and all very interesting stuff. Obviously the Festoff, all day down at the Discovery Centre, the Classic Car Show, which was on a very wet day, and I did get very wet walking home. Sing along in the church, sing along choir, and bell ringers, which Councillor Cotton isn't here, is he? He had a very good try.
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah. They all went really wrong. Never mind. And we did there was talk on beekeepers. We went to the U3A Open Day, Thatcham Art Exhibition. That's me presenting the winner. A talk by the author whose name I've forgotten, but it was really interesting discussion about Amanda Knox. The choir. Went to talk about Swan, which was really interesting. Personalities and places of Thatcham, Pride Brunch, the astronomical observations, which unfortunately it was a very cloudy night, so we didn't see much. But there was lots of talks going on and lots of photographs and things to look at. The Thrive dance, which was amazing. There was everybody there from littlies to grandparents dancing. I mean, not just in the audience. And there was a disabled dance team, just lots of diversity and lots of talent and lots of fun going on. That was really brilliant. The photographic exhibition, there was morning as well. And sorry, that was Cancer Melon. And then the finale was Coal Dust Brass Band, and the sheriff came and said he really enjoyed it, and said if we've got anything else that we want to invite him to, he'd be delighted to come. So that was nice. I went to the on the 22nd. I went to the Nature Memories Cafe, which is new and it's down at the Discovery Centre. I was there second week of doing that. And I wasn't expecting to see many people, and it was full, and it just found the need really, people with dementia. And they do crafts and they do walks and they do all sorts of things. And people were saying how delighted they were that there was that resource for them, and people have come from sort of Warwickshire, as well as Thatcher, and can afford all sorts to take part in it, because there isn't much of that sort of thing around. Went back to Trinity to their House of Performing Arts, which was really good. That's the winning team there that I'm photographed with. Launched our new water station in Thatcham, which I don't know if many of you have seen. Those photos out. It's a really good resource for it. And I attended the poppy workshop, which obviously was for Remembrance Day. I also went down to thank the butcher on the market who left on the 28th. That was his last day, and we gave him a present and card for which he was delighted, and we gave him a certificate which he went around showing all the other stallholders. He was really pleased with that, and he told us lots and lots of stories about things that have been on in markets over the 20 years that he'd been working there, and he's now passed it on to his son. So that was a bit of a good news story. And then we had Remembrance Sunday, which went really well. And as you can see there, I wanted a photograph of that tree with the poppies, but there was also, all the poppies through Broadway, and lots of people coming up to me saying how lovely it was. They really appreciated it. And we had armistice the next day, which I didn't get a photo of, and somebody donated some flowers, lots of flowers, which we took round to some care homes. So gave them. And went to the WI Christmas Bazaar, which again, I'm so surprised how many people there was there. It was absolutely packed. Hopefully they raised lots of money. I also went to the new convention market. I've noticed this week that there's quite a lot of positive comments. Some notice board saying about the quality of the fruit and how nice and friendly the people are, which is really good news. I went to visit the Citizens Advice Bureau. They're so much bigger and do so much more. And I was given a presentation which I will send on to everybody so that you can see how much they actually do, and also how much they do for the people of Thatcham, because it's got all the numbers on there. Who comes from Thatcham, who comes from Newbury, Hungerford, etc. And they did say if any council wants to come and visit, they're happy to host anybody. And on the 20th as well, Petra and I went to see the transgender film at the Corn Exchange. It's Transgender Remembrance Day, and they were basically looking at how transgender people are treated and how many people have died, either being killed or suicide, directly related to being transgender. And it was a lot. It was a very hard film to watch, and I think people got up and spoke at the end, and it was very emotional, particularly hearing from transgender people who, one woman that people will know here said that every day when she leaves her house, she thinks, is this going to be the day that I get attacked or killed? Which obviously must be a dreadful thing to live with every day of your life. I would recommend anybody. I've also got a link to the film, so if you want to see it, it's a hard watch, but I can encourage people to have a look. Then I went to the drop-in Rose event at Frank Hitchens, which again I didn't get a photo. It was incredibly well attended. You were, yeah. They were really pleased with how many people were there. I went quite near the end, and I was expecting there to be like half a dozen people still hanging around, and they were at least 30 maybe. Yeah.
More. I can't tell you how many people were there at the moment, but it was a pretty full.
They had quite a few speakers about things like probate and power of attorney. People had lots of questions. They wanted inspiring homes and really, really helpful and like I say, really well attended. And I think they'll be planning to do quite a few more of those. And then we had a man dance on Friday, which was very good. Sorry, good picture. Yeah, it went really, really well. It was really good fun. And hopefully we've put money as well for our charities.
Can I just say, my daughter being the youngest one there by a country mile, absolutely enjoyed it and thoroughly, yeah, well, by all, so thank you very much for that.
And sorry, I also meant to say, obviously the council officers did such a fantastic job of organisation and making sure that it went really, really smooth. For that. Thank you.
Right, Madam Mayor, I wonder if it others were taken part. The Mayor and Mayoress of Newbury who did dancing all night. It would be lovely to take it to Newbury Town Council because they have a record of all the things. Like, still,
Yeah, I think I only photographs, didn't she? So let's see if she's got work.
it's possible. Be lovely. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I purposely kept mine brief because I knew that there's activities just been mad with our fashion festival. So there was a few where I was standing in, as I was busy. So I had a great time at the Cindy Club, and it was my first time attending. I'm really happy to go there again. Another event I attended was the Gardening for Wildlife. The lady Elsa who did this, I went to another Green Common walk. She is a wealth of information, amazing lady. I also attended a session at the Nature Discovery this week for their 3rd birthday. Was another one. Another one I attended was be a radio presenter for the day, and I must admit this was my boys' favourite film festival event. They absolutely loved it. They thought they were DJs, and you even got a clip of the recording and home, so you've got that forever. That was marvellous. And another one I attended was the art exhibition. And I signed up for a little crystal workshop. Tanya, who did the workshop, was amazing. You had 20 minutes. The little tip she gave was I just did like a tiger's eye. I haven't got the picture, sorry. But not to concentrate on the full. And doing just the eye, it really looked like, well, so it was a really, really good tip in the end. Another few is I was covering the mayor, and I was busy with Jessica's wedding. So I attended the RBL Commonwealth War Grove where we did on the graves in the cemetery. And that was attended, as you can see, with some of the RBL members. I was helping Fate for young people, which is charity in Thatcham. It's got free houses and that helps if they've been in care or homeless between the ages of 25. Another one I was standing in was Green and Festival. Absolute marvellous evening. So many worthy charities. I do not know what we would do without Greenham Trust. I really don't. They support so many small and big charities. We are so lucky to live in an area where they support. I'm truly grateful for the gift. And then I also attended a Learners Achievement Award, and that was at Shaw House. And again, I was blown away. There were such wonderful stories of people that worked so hard for personal growth. yeah, it's when you hear the stories and things they've gone through, it blows me away really. They're amazing. And I'm not going to say that's about it because I have attended sort of like October and November 43 events all in all. I didn't go through everyone because I knew the mayor's was going to be busy. 25 of those I think were in the festivals. There's been a few. And that's all, unless anyone has any questions.
Thank you. Okay, so approval and adoption of committee minutes. We've got the Finance and General Purposes Committee minutes, the 20th of October.
I propose these ones.
Thank you, Councillor Jeffries, and all those in favour? Thank you, so they are approved. And then the Planning and Highways Committee minutes of the 22nd of October.
Thank you very much. The adoption of those minutes from the 22nd of October.
Thank you, and it's,
Madam Mayor, I'll second that.
and all those in favour? Thank you. And then the next item is the Neighbourhood Development Plan. If I can, I'll hand over to Councillor Pike.
Thank you. So I'll start with point one, draft terms of reference. So this has been some time of gestation and has been comments to councillors and then on to comments from West Yorkshire Council, who provided quite a lot of comments. All of these substances have been incorporated, though I've occasionally used different words, partly with the to avoid the terms of reference to looking too onerous to people who stand on the members of the steering group. I think just say that is fairly comprehensive set of the terms of reference. Also, of course, statements to talk about the relationship between the steering group and the council within reference.
I agree with that, actually, it's not onerous and it's probably as concise as it could be. It's put in it.
To admit that I see terms of reference are short at a page and as long as twice as this. I think this is long enough to cover all of the things to make clear what should happen. So things that might happen, not work well as it is described in advance. The procedure would be. So I think it's hopefully it's the right length.
Thank you. And are you proposing?
I'm proposing it doesn't say what the verb is to approve the draft.
Sorry, Councillor Stevenson's got questions.
May I ask a question, please? It's about section 5. There's just a short sentence that says, Town Council shall provide the Secretariat for the steering group and may do so for working group. All I'm asking is the staffing arrangement capable of supplying those needs?
Unfortunately, that is a fundamental part of our place manager, James Pye, and as part of his employment is to oversee this role.
And do I ask you to have a terms of reference, please? Councillor Cole, and all those in favour? Is that everyone? Yeah. Okay, thank you. That is.
Made the decision. When will it? My apologies. Now that we have made the decision to set it up formally, when would be the next available time to appoint members for volunteers?
So the next agenda item is volunteers from the councillors.
Yes.
Then for the community, we've already invited expressions of interest. We have had one number of expressions of interest. We arranged a launch meeting for the 3rd of December, which is an open meeting which those people have been invited to, but anyone else who is will also attend without commitment. And then the and make the appointments with the intention of holding the group early in the new year.
Thank you. So that is the next item, appoint council steering group. Do we have members here? Sorry, did you have a question?
My apologies. I've actually gone through and done a bit, lots of different points on it, but what I was looking to really bring to attention is I volunteered. But it wasn't really a case of me volunteering. I felt whoever was the leader of the council would be in amongst this.
Okay.
Whether it's me or and anybody else, it's such an important document for this authority. And I felt that that was more important. The position was more important than the person.
Yeah.
But I would volunteer to. I believe Val has indicated that she would be very interested into it. And is interested, just a little interest there over the last 15 years.
How many members do you need?
So in terms of reference, say 4, in terms of reference, say that the councillors are appointed annually, but the members of the public is not time limited. The hope is that they will be able to continue through the period, but it's not mandatory.
Right.
And there's a procedure for replacements, but that is the members of the public is not time limited, but the councillors is appointed in the usual way. Presumably in the meeting or perhaps the one after for the first time.
Okay, thank you. And is there anyone else who's got particular interest in?
I'd like to propose, councillor Owen Jeffrey, please. I'm gonna leave this.
More than happy to second.
Thank you. I'm sorry,
Sorry, is councillor Jeffrey willing to stand?
Right. I propose all 4 names that we've given should be considered need to be appointed, jointly to be appointed.
yeah, so we've got Councillor McCann, Councillor Watts, Councillor Pike, Councillor Jeffries. Yeah, is that it? Okay, so can we you one of them?
So propose that those 4 people, those 4 councillors be appointed as members of the steering group.
Lovely, thank you. And who wants to second? Karen, okay, and all those in favour? Thank you. And then the next one is to delegate authority to the NDP Working Party to appoint members for the steering group, working groups and chairmen.
Thank you. So just to say that obviously we'll be discussing individuals in order to be appointed. Therefore, it's appropriate to be a working party so that it's not a public meeting in the normal sense, because we'd end up with a public meeting, an official committee meeting in which all of it was part 2. But that's the reason why it's a working party, and hopefully we can set that up before Christmas to getting the names forward. So I'd like to propose that we do delegate authority to the working party, NDP Working Party, that were previously appointed.
Thank you. And members first. Thank you, Councillor Pemberton, and all those in favour. Thank you. That's great. It's easy.
Sorry, I've got another question. This new meeting or the when is it, December the 3rd? Please.
I'm not sure if we've probably got.
Okay, it's only that West Berkshire councillors have a meeting briefing on teams of emergencies that I really need to. Yeah, but I would have liked to have come to the open meeting.
My apologies, but we had to set it, and I think we've already announced it to yes. Should probably record it, I guess, but we have to check because the public will be speaking much more freely, but we'll probably get the key points. We've already had the presentation from West Berkshire Council. They'll be producing a presentation for us as well, which we can circulate. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is the remote attendance and proxy voting. So the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government are holding a consultation on enabling remote attendance and voting at local authority meetings, including parish and town council meetings. So there's a link there that you can find out all the details about that. And the council responding shortly, that every member of this council is supported and encouraged to send your own individual responses. And that has to be by the 19th of December. Okay, are there any questions on that? Or Councillor Jeffries?
Madam Mayor. Some couples things to the mayor. So I'm not taking up couple.
Thank you.
I think the words you used, I would we could rephrase it slightly. I would be very happy to propose that this council, as a council, not respond to consultation, but we urge every single member of the council to respond. I think that won't even talk to it. You know, I think it's the position I would do it. If we were on the second that and include this way.
Yep, and that's so what we're proposing.
Back to second.
Everybody's up.
And the next one, in which every councillor does actually have interest, is to receive the report of the Independent Remuneration Panel for West Hampshire Forest and Town Council and consider the recommended members and mayor's allowance. This is £438 for councillors and £1,315 for the mayor. And this would be for the next financial year. Councillor Pike.
Thank you. So I think I have to make a slight correction. That is the maximum. It's the recommended allowance. It's the maximum. And the report shows that many councils, including particularly small parish councils, don't pay that or pay less than that. I'd just like to draw attention of the council to one aspect of this, that the calculation is based on an arbitrary and unexplained assumption of that the allowance is 5% of the allowance paid to West Hampshire councils. I personally feel that that is a maximum, and I say that councils don't need to do it, but I don't think that maximum recognises the effort that at least some councils, including Thatcham, put in compared to West Berkshire councillors. Obviously, this is a matter for the next review because this is the conclusion of that review panel. But I'd like to have it on record that I think that even if the councils don't adopt it, weren't to pay a higher amount, I think that the maximum should recognise the effort of the largest town councils. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Pennington, did you want to say something?
Councillor Jeffrey was just
Okay. Sorry.
Madam Mayor, I've heard what Councillor Pike has said. And it's one of these issues where we are voting on our allowance. We've gone through the process at West Berkshire Council, and we do it also with the serving on our authority, okay, the same thing. At the end of the day, a place where the buck stop, and it'd be very difficult to get, for example, to say, this is how much you pay. The independent look at this, take evidence from individual council laws, both at town, parish, and it is not a demand that these figures should be paid, but it is a figure by understanding the kinds of effort and the kinds of amount of time that are put in. I'm not ashamed to say, I think it is not this by this council, and every individual council has an absolute right to take either a lesser amount or to not take any allowance whatsoever. You're not obliged to take it. Do take it, it would be normal for people income. I would be very happy, I don't want to dump the degree, but I'd be very happy to propose that we do a recommendation from the independent panel. I won't make it as a formal recommendation at this moment, so that anybody else. Thank you.
Councillor Pemberton?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I think we absolutely should accept the recommendations of this report. I'm pleased to see that the hard work that local parish councillors do is recognised in increasing the allowance ever so slightly. And it's clearly a step in the right direction. But I think if we were being honest about it, there's still a lot more that we can do. There's a huge amount more that we can do. And when I cross council, I'm probably going to offend people by missing them out, but if I look at the work that the leadership team does, Councillor Mayor, Councillor Pemberton, Councillor McCann, when I look at the work that Councillor Pike has done in the local review, when I look at the work of the Section 10K that Councillor Shepherd-Hart has done, I know that wasn't a formal council event, but it's still a massive piece of work. Councillor Jeffries and Councillor Stevenson and Councillor Cole, the other the events done. The allowance. Now, for the issue of local government finance is one that's not going to go away. Councillor Cotton and Councillor Stevenson on that. We've just been through this exercise at West Berkshire Council where we voted to increase our own allowances. Again, a step in the right direction. What we need to do is recognise the work that we do. I also recognise that we're asking a huge amount of the taxpayers because every year we say to them we need more money. Every year they pay it and there's a balance to be struck. Councillor Pike, I think, hit the nail on the head, and also Councillor Jeffrey as well, in that not only is there a wider debate to be had about the entire remuneration package, councils do different things, and I just find that bonkers, to be perfectly honest with you. I look across the piece at some local authorities in Wales, where, for example, district councils where cabinet members get £25,000–30,000 a year. And I'm not quoting an arbitrary figure, but it just gives a scale of the disparity and the number of really complex issues that are kind of bound up within this. I think we also need to do a lot about closing loopholes as well and supporting our councillors. Again, Councillor Pike has mentioned that you can claim certain expenses if you're a councillor. But you can't in the town or parish. There's just many issues that can need to be tidied up. Bottom line is that we need to attract more people into local government. We want more people as the councillors. With the greatest of respect, we need people sat in this room. Trans people, LGBT people, young people, you name it, and I think we've got a lot more work to do. So absolutely, in terms of accepting these recommendations, I think long term, we have a big encourage people to do.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just echoing what Councillor Pemberton said is that one of the key challenges which we face in public service is EDI, so equity, diversity, inclusion. And yeah, I'm a typical white male, 50s, who's been able to give because luckily, financially, I can do that, but not everyone in the community is able to do that. So we do have an issue of people think the same way or similar. People sat here, so it would be that we had some teenagers council.
Yeah, they can vote.
They can get married, they can have sex. It's not an issue. They should not be in the chamber. Making my colleague laugh. It's missing, we have a big issue of groupthink. We have diversity of thought, diversity of action, and serving the community. So I would totally recommend that we do need to think about what is the best way to attract talent. Is it more money? I would say that the hard work which people put in, it's out a few pounds per hour, which is ridiculous. We all know we don't do it for the money, we do it for the community we serve, but it would be nice to be able to reward people who have to give up their time, they have to work in the evenings, etc. They have to make a choice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Points, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. So, consultation on remote attendance, one of the themes, this is the government contribution, one of the themes of it is it increasing diversity. And while it's not the core focus of that consultation, some of the questions do allow broader topics, which I will take the opportunity to use to emphasise these other points. And of course, if this consultation results in action, it will need legislative change, and that will be a good opportunity to address some of the other points that we've just discussed. So that's something that we can will be taking it with our local MP, who obviously is well connected with the with Town Borough Council, particularly this one, because I think if legislative change, there is an opportunity for the organisations which we support for to be addressed at the same time. Thank you.
Councillor Pan.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything that's been said here this evening. I'm going to tell you a little story. And it's about locking horns to organisation and organisations like this. 2015, the Conservative ruling group on a district unitary authority, which was elected member. The ruling group refused to accept the recommendations for an inflation pay rise and brought forward a larger rise than was recommended, much to the dismay of this type of group. So much to the point that I indicated to the chair, I'd like to speak. The chair really called me when it was my turn, and I invited the entire organisation to resign immediately. Because if the ruling group wasn't going to accept the recommendations, much to my surprise and amusement, the entire group resigned the next day. So into absolute chaos, interpretations, because that lot resigned and didn't want nothing to do with it. How on earth would you get the next lot to come in? Because they clearly sit down and say, well, why not everything we. Fortunately for the council, they managed to convince the next round of independent people that their recommendations would be taken and they wouldn't be argued. So it can show you that they may not have a lot of legislative power, they certainly have a lot of political power, and for a lot of them, it can be quite an uncomfortable horn locking session. Just a bit of information to share.
Thank you. Anybody else? So can we have a proposal?
You have to vote on it, don't you?
Thank you.
Mayor, I'm the brains remember, we will not actually make a forward proposal. If not, then I would prefer we accept the report as the event of the event.
Thank you. Councillor Petter, thank you. All those in favour? Everyone, thank you. That's agreed.
Thank you.
And the next item is the town councillors and West Berkshire district councillors on council surgeries.
Thank you very much. Just bring it into item number 10, correction. So it was actually myself and Councillor Lillycroft who did the council surgery on the 5th of October because I swapped with.
Thank you. Councillor Smith?
Yes, I've got a correction too, please. One of Councillor Milan The second hour, so there were 3 of us there, so
Okay, lovely.
residents had the benefit of 2 district councillors in the town council.
So who wants to speak on those? Thank you, councillor Lillycroft.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a few observations on the surgery, the 5th of October. The range of covered by that visited us at the stand, and they come there on the booking of doctor's appointments, and of course, as the point was made on that particular occasion, something that we can directly influence as a council. I think it's worth noting that particular concern was taken back to the surgery, and a very positive follow-up was achieved there. So in areas which are outside the direct control of the council, it's certainly worth bringing up in the of the surgery, and obviously we'll do anything we can to represent the people in discussing their concerns with the right people. The other one I was just going to draw attention to, clearly the Belgrave Close Path is currently in discussion with the Memorial Trust. I won't go into that in any detail. The last one on the quantity of traffic in Lower Way. Initially, I'd just like to say to express my thanks to the officers who responded in quite some detail to the lady that raised that point, and it's a concern that I have myself. I cross the way myself most days, and I've noticed a significant increase in the flow of traffic along the way. I don't think it's a road that's really built for the one.
To do with the fall being so disrupted at the moment.
I think a lot of it could be the roadworks that have gone wrong there, and I just think it's one that we need to work with the council, and I'm glad to be a member of who brought that up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder if I could come back on both points that Lily Cropper's made. First one about on Friday I was in High Wycombe, Wiltshire, Oxfordshire and Berkshire Health Scrutiny Panel, and Anima was mentioned. Question, because our section was on key into the health services and how it might pan out. Turns out that we are leaders. Our surgeries are up for an award for using Anima. He did recognise that there will be a percentage, I forget the number, there will be a percentage of people who will never be found out that people have phone calls still and go into surgery to make appointments. They know that. Those of us who can use Anima are at the cutting edge, and the alternatives interesting.
So Pemberton, did you want to
Come in?
wanted to comment on that? Oh, okay.
The second one, feeding on Lower Way. Friday, spring. It's a long way away. Get all of those and police and crime commissioners. And one section mentioned speed walks. That was an example. The counties in Thames, so they don't all have speed walks where people can take part in assisting. So in both those cases, we're held up as leading examples. I just thought it'd be interesting for council to know.
Yeah, I'm just sort of conscious that it was supposed to be a surgery update. The issue of Lower Way, that sort of fills up a lot of mailbox and has done since I was elected to West Berkshire Council last May. We've got a new development now, which is actually being built out of place, and some residents have actually moved in. I found out the other day when I went to a meeting with the developer Charles Church. Councillor Brooks and I campaigned for months and months and months to get the highways team of the Scottish Council to install mini roundabouts on the entrance to the new estate, because that would obviously slow traffic down. In their wisdom, the highways team said, no, we can't do that. Eagle-eyed observers may have noticed that we've got a new pedestrian crossing at the eastern end of Lower Way by the Swings and Smiles. So hopefully that will help with traffic safety, but residents are right to be concerned. Given the speed along that straight section of road between the roundabout and the chicane where the speed camera is, often double the speed limit. So that was that. On the with the highway team, West Berkshire Council about indicator devices on Green Road again, where my residents complain, and I often get a lot of feedback from the council because they want to try and push speed watch initiatives where there aren't always the volunteers, and actually sometimes the visual reminder to drivers to just slow down. So that's another argument that I'm having. So that's those two. I wanted to add as well, just to Councillor Lillicrip's point about the surgery, if I can remember, there was a lady that came up to me and mentioned that when she tried to use the number 1A service with a bus into Newbury, the driver wouldn't let her pay by cash. So I promised to go away and find out the answer, because obviously the poor lady wasn't able to get on the bus. We did that. I finally got an answer from them just last week after weeks and weeks of chasing. What they have said to me is that we can pay cash on our buses, although the Green District do ask of the correct change to make their boarding time quicker. All of the fares are shown on the bus company's website. Now, if the driver has had many things, or they think, there is always a caveat within the terms and conditions that say a customer may not be able to travel unless you can pay for a ticket in another way. In other words, if the bus driver doesn't have the correct change, they have discretion to refuse a customer boarding, which I personally want with. However, I don't know his name. It's given me detail. I want them to know that I did ask the question of West Berkshire Council's transport team. And if you do want to pursue it further, the council do recommend that you raise the bus service, which I think is fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And Councillor Stevenson, did you have anything else to say about the surgery?
Sorry?
Did you have anything else to say about your surgery on the 2nd of November?
No, I don't think so, because the other matter was the planning.
Right.
And I don't think I can mention that here because it's coming up as a district.
Thank you. Have we got any reports from the district councillors?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. From Brookham, I think if anybody in the council would be remotely surprised to hear that the Brookham Hill continues the flood. I can assure you that when Brookham Hill think it's going to flood, then understandably so. I have still been pressing for a coordinated meeting. I think we've now been conceded that we will have a coordinated meeting between highways engineers, environment agency, if we can ever actually get those 50 people on one time. We shouldn't say that publisher to get that wonderful organisation into the including the owner of the very farm. So putting all that together, actually having a meeting, trying to coordinate kind of thing. Something that the football club is very interested in, indeed. The also issues with the difficulties of getting across the crossing at different times. So all those issues sort of come into we need. Thought through. I didn't think it was going to be any instant after the door. But hopefully we'll be able to get our way through the solution.
Thank you, councillor Jeffries. Anybody else? Thank you. We'll move on to item number 10. From outside bodies. So the outside bodies that councillors are attending. Sorry.
Can be really, really quickly. Not say too much. So
Yeah.
as part of to development at Newbury. So it came before District Planning Committee a couple of weeks back and we weren't able to make a decision. The meeting was adjourned because I think there was a little bit of confusion at the meeting itself over how the council's constitution works. So I believe that is coming back to you again.
Thank you. Okay, going back to the item number 10. Councillor Pike.
Thank you. I think I'm now an elected member or elected by the committee member of the executive of Buckhill Association Local Council. Main role is to provide training and advice. I'd just like to draw all councillors' attention to information you should have received, but might not have opened the email. The National Association of Local Councils is effectively a federation of the county associations. Our membership of the association gives you access to information from which has recently upgraded its website, and it's now far easier for different councillors to get access to the respective area. There's lots of guidance notes, some of which are addressed to officers, some of which are addressed to people or indeed councillors particularly. So it's registering with a very straightforward process, provided you do so through the town council email address, which is how they know you're a councillor.
Dementia Friendly, who's
That's me. So I attended one of the sessions in Newbury and it was really informative because I was able to speak to other members of the team, and they told me that one of their programs or that housing for older people had a good morning, and it was one place I wasn't able to get in, and it's in my ward, and I've often wanted to be able to deliver and to know all the different events that work on. So I was lucky enough to then invite myself to a coffee morning. I had a wonderful reception from the people living there. Told them all about our Fetching Festival, and going on from that, I believe I'm myself visiting again this week. So it was a really good meeting and gave us access to people within Fetching that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to get hold of.
Thank you. Friend of Catherine Lively, is that Councillor Schiffer Hart?
Yes, very busy during the Thatcham Festival. Organised one of the local schools, Francis Bailey, with their links to Francis Bailey, the astronomer, and they had some magnificent art installations given to me, and visitors had to work out using literature and I'm guessing the use of the internet which star signs they were. It was quite interesting. So I knew what ones they were, but then they arranged at the end of Tesco, I'm sure. It's really nice because it helps the friends of Hampshire, recognition and use. And it's been really well noted that the toilet facility there now is perfect. It means you're not having to leave and go to town and come back again. It's really enjoy yourself. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Greenham, Thomas, you're going to.
The last meeting we had a lengthy discussion on Adabites, dogs on the common. Also dealt with some more sort of procedural issues. We've established committees to re-establish committees to various aspects, governance and planning applications of Elizabeth Common. there's the regular discussion about the maximum number which originally to explain here was I have grounded experience from working on Wi-Fi. There's a strong connection between Wi-Fi and grazing at Cattle on Common. I'll explain something more. And finally, looking forward, the commissioners are organising a for the restoration of the common as a common after its use as an airfield on the 8th of April 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. And Hennickworthy Sports Field, who's speaking to that?
I will speak as newly elected chairman of the JMC. Councillor Cliff Brooks handed the reins over to me, knowing my background in sport, and they work alongside Paul Hendry from West Berkshire. There is some interest in what we want to do to reimagine the site. Boilers have started to be out of date. The actual building itself isn't really fit for purpose. So it's a kind of thing. There's a few ways we're looking at it, which we haven't into too much detail, but it's starting to really make use of the site properly. And hopefully, there's hope for the future. We want a new meeting in January, and we've given some thought there for some officers to do at West Berkshire.
Thank you. Homestart? Have you please propose?
Yep, I sadly missed the last management meeting. I had the event on that night. But I know it's all about fundraising. They've had a charity ball, with hoping raise some lots of money. And they've also got on the 30th of November, a route making session. So a plug, if anyone's listening, please sign up. It's £40 Christmas week. Goes for us to come.
Sunday.
The 30th of November.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. Who wants to speak to that?
Myself, my passionate with the swimming pool, as many know that the West Berkshire have recently announced there's some new gym equipment, which is pleasing. However, I must say that since joining the council, I've not had the pleasure of meeting with parties. It is a joint advisory committee, but it would be nice to speak to other parties involved and interest, and to get the money that there is sat in accounts to use, which they're clearly doing. It's just be nice to ask for advice from the council towns.
Is that in the pipeline to get those meetings underway, or?
I'm not sure. There have been this table who was in the past on the JAC, if I may ask. Lady Crop to his 2 pence.
Yeah, it was a little while ago, and certainly in the time that when I was appointed to that group, there was very little going on, very little influence, so I can't really shine any light on that, I'm afraid.
Thank you, Councillor Lady Crop. So yes, certainly, as a user as well, I'd like to. There are lots of things, having spoken to members of the public about changes to the internal. So it's difficult, so it's a building, but it's sort of things that could be done. We need to listen to some ideas in the group. Thank you very much, Madam.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yeah, I just think it's unacceptable that the JAC isn't meeting and hasn't. To be honest.
Councillor Cobb?
Totally agree with Councillor Stevenson. I think you'll probably find we have been exceptionally firm and written. The head teacher at Kennet, who's been in post for over 2 years, has never been invited to a meeting. And the previous head of Kennet, who was in post for about 4 years, had 1 meeting.
I have emailed Councillor Cotton about this and asked if he can do some inquiries. I think initially I reached out to the town clerk, because although I'm not on the committee, I've never heard of anything, and it's sort of like it feels a bit wrong that we're not even getting to meet with those partners. So hopefully council will pop them, so they can dig in and come back to us.
Councillor Jeffrey.
Madam Mayor, if we're prepared to go into part two, then I suspect that there might be additional comments that could be used. And or with in a committee specifically offline. There's and say that it's not been properly operated, the one who see it operated has not been absolutely beyond that.
We'll do that outside this meeting. Okay. What's next? Lady Frances Winchcombes Thatcham Foundation. Councillor Jeffrey.
Thank you for that. The Francis Winchcombes Thatcham Foundation, very few people have ever heard of it, nobody knows what it does. The infant parish of Thatcham goes out into Bury and Farm. One of the places which really should be part of Thatcham, but going back to the old ecclesiastical money was put aside to support Sunday schools and to make people nice go off to be apprentices and like that sort of thing. That money still exists and it is in accordance with the rules and regulations that apply. Two appointees from this council continues to receive applications from people who benefit from having some money and some support. And I think the one thing I would say utterly publicly is if you're at school, if you're going to university, and you are breaking where you really don't have enough money to make it all work, you're taking it. The work that's going to happen is you'll fill in an application and the answer will be sorry, no, and the next will be we're not taking it.
Thank you. What's next? Eco Friends.
I'll take this one. I haven't actually been able to attend any of the meetings since the last week now. And also to inform us that I need to step away. Without I believe has agreed to take over the mantle from me, although I don't necessarily if you're not able to. The focus, what I do know is that the focus at the moment is increasing the membership of the steering group. So even in the time that I've been involved, it has gotten bigger. There are more and more organisations that they trying to reach out to. The good news is that Councillor Brooks, obviously a fellow Town councillor and leader over at West Berkshire, is very, very keen to improve West Berkshire Council's participation by making sure that we've got an elected member on their steering group. Obviously, Councillor Linton will take over from me over at some of the things that Councillor Brooks is keen to do, for example, Council find up to plastic free. Our museums, our libraries, Shaw House, well, the organisation, it's District Conference, which we're really way. And we've also got the District Schools Assembly, which Councillor Brooks has set up. So there's certainly opportunities to get schools signed up via that. So that school won't yeah, really trust involved by promoting it to their tenants and their partners. So it's a growing organisation. It does a huge piece of work. They've spoken to us many times and it's all aware of the work that they do. So this will be the last update that I'm able to give.
Thank you. And Councillor Lily.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, just to confirm, as councillor Hampton says, I was approached by the Ecofriends group and I'm happy to take over that.
Thank you, well done. Sanction allotment. You, councillor Pemberton.
Me again. I did attend the last committee meeting. They are looking to get some for parked vehicles. They've got a shed that they have their coffee mornings, and it can get quite muddy. They were thinking of originally approaching us to see if they could small grant, but they have been very fortunate that their coffee mornings have raised enough money, and I think they've got enough money to cover that now without coming to the town council for a grant. So they hopefully have that done in the, well, I'm not sure if that will be done in the spring now because it's not a great time for you to do it, but they have the funds in order to get that done.
You know, perhaps surprising. All right, buddy. Thank you. Thatcham Fred for sorry, councillor
Can
Chan.
I ask a quick, question through you? For information to allotment at West Berkshire's parish and town council meeting recently, Councillor Brooks announced that there was free soil from some of the recycling centres, and that if the allotments wanted it, it would be given to them. So that might be an interesting thing.
To let the councillors know that as soon as I heard of that, I sent an email to my contacts to let everyone know. They already know.
It's a really good idea.
Hopefully,
Right. That is appropriate, but on the case as well. Amazing. Who had all the cats?
Jim Flood. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The formal funding on all of the SWMP is now effectively being wound up as it's reached the end of its formal role. As I understand, the north and east schemes are now at the final landscaping stage of work, and I'm looking forward to an update on the final big scheme next door, which of course is reliant to some extent on the weather completion.
Flooding.
But as I've mentioned many times in the past, as one of the victims of the 2007 floods, it does give me a lot of reassurance when we have torrential rain last week that this scheme is in place and that such a lot has been achieved in our area in putting that piece of work in place. So I'm personally very grateful for that.
Thank you, councillor Cole.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Could I though pass on a complaint? I had a complaint from a resident that the Colback attenuation pond was actually full of water.
Finished tossing out.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, it's just really a quick question. As I say, we've had torrential rain over the weekend, and then we've seen no doubt bits of flooding in the Newbury area. Obviously, we've had a lot of investment in the Thatcham area regarding, is it 6 schemes?
So yes,
6 schemes, and they seem to. What? Protected Thatcham. Have we had any complaints at all of their effectiveness over this weekend? It's obviously something which is really close to residents' hearts. And not only have a scheme, the process is being completed on our land.
I haven't actually received a report from the engineers on that, although generally when I speak to them about the performance of the various flood schemes, I'm assured that, regardless of deluge, is just a minor shower in terms of the volume of water that these schemes are designed to cope with. So I think very often they don't kick in until things get really bad. Maybe we forget just how bad it was in 2007.
Yeah.
It really was a once in a lifetime event. And they seem to quite routinely with the meetings like that we've received recently.
Wishing to, what I've got on my head at the moment is just to make sure that we're securing the monies required to service the flood alleviation scheme. We don't want to be in a situation whereby the gullies haven't been cleared. There's something else, very lot of pressure down the road at West Berkshire Council regarding how they're doing risk assessments on clearing gullies, etc. We want to make sure that our flood alleviation schemes are properly maintained and serviced in line with the engineers forgotten about. So it's a case of us putting as much pressure on possible to, I suppose, whoever is the budget holder to make sure that they're serviced to purpose.
Thank you. Councillor Shiverhart.
Yes, this is just one that came to me recently. Interested to see how Chippenham, so I say Chippenham Town Council. I used to live there. My brother does. They have almost a state emergency today. The whole town is flooded. The town centre, that is. Having looked at what I know of the area, the River Burses Bank, so we're really interested to see if Wiltshire County Council and Chippenham Town Council do a similar scheme, because it's the worst I think I've ever seen it. So my brother lives very close, but it's interesting how we know this to be in Thatcham is probably the same as in 2000. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, moving on, Thatcham Memorial Foundation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Obviously is the path from Beverley Close, which has been wonderful. I'm very comprehensive. I've no intention of seeing through everything in this chamber, because particularly I'm not a toothbrush. But I would just like to commend Councillor Cockingham, who has and the West Berkshire representative to really start from practice. But as I say, it's a very complex issue and remains so.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Moving swiftly on to the Thatcham Nature Discovery Centre.
From an official point of view, nothing to report, Madam Mayor, but I do all round it most days, and it is most extraordinarily wet at the moment.
It was closed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Harris Hall.
Thank you.
Right.
So I thought you said we should always wait. But yeah, so during in the last year or so, the parish hall has had to have the complete rewire and a new boiler. Unexpected. Despite that, we had our AGM last month. The finances are sound. The building is completely sound. There is a certain amount of work. You will see scaffolding going up on the passageway. We need to get access to the chimney to repair, which is probably a problem with flashing. But there are more major items to do. The windows facing, and there's other structural things. So we will probably be going into fundraising to fulfill those because I think that the ability of the booking revenue to support. Basically, I'd say that things are going good.
Floor as well.
It's been there quite a long time.
Okay.
Yes. So that was probably before my time on the committee, probably 5 or so years ago. And that is one of the selling features for the dance classes. It is a dance floor.
Thank you very much. Thatcham Relief in Need charity.
Houses go. Residents leave, unfortunately, to either leave to go to or somebody die. When those almshouses come up for occupancy, we are making the bathrooms. As far as Thatcham Relief in Need is concerned, we are continuing to make the small amounts available to people. We seem to have got quite a run on school trips for those unable to afford to go on. People would otherwise be able to go on school trips, especially at primary level. To do so.
Councillor Lunn isn't here. So we'll go on to the Thatcham Town Cricket Club.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was going to the Cricket Club AGM on Friday. I'm pleased to report that they've recovered from a £12,500 loss last year to a this year, where they've reported profits of 300 and something pounds. So very modest. That only tells you what Councillor Cole would be interested in, you know, the balance books. What is for the with chairman of the cricket. The major thing is still flood alleviation works, the impact that it's had on the club and will continue to have on the club for many years. It's something that, you know, can't be underestimated. With looking at a long view, the cricket club has always struggled a bit with the retention of players. They bring them on, and it's offering cricket to junior and the girls. I mean, as well as the seniors, a lot of people finish through their own leagues. The point is, the concern is for the club's viability long term. And the alleviation works has robbed it of part of the vital services that they were able to provide. They tend to move the next example, and they've lost 22% of the ground. The other major concerns is that when they look around at the other cricket clubs in the area, most of them will have their second pitch alongside, and Thatcham has Hennick Worthy field and the field here, which isn't an ideal situation. So, you know, like I say, they're looking long and hard at ways of trying to improve the club's facilities and improve the club's likelihood of survival. And more importantly, I think mention young players who rightly they come through Thatcham, they learn all their skills, they're given all those skills, and they think to themselves, that's the place for me, and away they go. So I would hope that the council can do everything they can when things come up for the cricket club, because although they may have been funded for some of the things that they've lost, and the thing is, the refunding from the alleviation works, refunding for lost revenue, because events that the cricket club rely upon have now been greatly affected. So, whilst in terms of contract this term, yeah, there is a big concern for the cricket club in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just add a couple. Thank you very much, Councillor Boyd, for your great summary. So a couple of other things just to bring to the equation. We were approached by, we've been approached by a schoolmaster from partnership approach pathway with children coming through Kennett School to ourselves. So that's great. We're looking to develop. Also, we've been talking with the Memorial Hall Foundation about getting cricket back onto the school, improving negotiations. And so hopefully, as I say, part of the wider regeneration, redevelopment of the entire site, what we're looking to do is to return the sports field to its intended purpose, really, which was to provide sporting amenities to the people of Thatcham. And it was something which came out of the Hemingway report as being the number 2 item, part of, you know, redeveloping Broadway. So we're always continuing looking to grow. This year, I think we're going to try and have a ladies cricket team as well as girls as well. So we're growing, but as the boy said, is still is having both grounds together rather than having separate, because if you're together, you have a team spirit, you're able to drive revenues and also work with the neighbours as well. That's where we are.
Thank you. Next, Thatcham Volunteer Bureau.
Madam Mayor, all I can report is that Clark enabled me to make contact with the Volunteer Bureau, and they have promised to invite me to them.
Can you? Do you want me to speak? Thank you. Just to say that following the issue, the person who used to run Thatcham Youth in 2022 who left, the trustees of Thatcham Youth all resigned, and Thatcham Town Council have temporarily that role, and we're looking to, and that's for till the end of this financial year, and we are looking at being able to take on Youth in a similar way to we do with the NGOs charity. We're looking at building with West Council to see what can be done there, and that's where we are at the moment. Councillor Stevenson.
Yes, may I make a suggestion that when you come to the next financial year and you're starting afresh, so to speak, the institute runs side. It's not just Thatcham Youth.
No.
Side, and probably should include Councillor Ian Cottingham or me as the councillors for West Berkshire, and would suggest Councillor Pemberton or Jay Lunn, who are town councillors, I'd say, for the same ward. At least those two members, one district member and one town councillor on the building, please.
Councillor Campbell.
Thank you. I don't really want to open up much of a discussion on this subject this evening, but the membership of the trustees and the people involved in this, their intention is service alive and sustainable for the future of the youth. That's why we're stepping in. We've been asked to step in and help, and it's to try and secure the long-term future of this service and facility within the town of Thatcham Town Council. The details of whose trustees or which roles each people will fill will come back to, I believe, the group, correctly, where we will be asking members individually, how do we feel, who should be in there, because it's not really a case of an individual member. It's more a case of, if you're a ward member, you would like to be involved in it. Let's look at that, rather than I'm really into this. I'd much rather it was a representative who is elected, whether it be us for Liberal Democrats this year, but it could be in 4 years' time, it could be another member of another political party who we wouldn't want to exclude because not in our gang sort of stuff, you know. So it was more about the role rather than the person, if that makes members feel more comfortable.
Can I just say that I've forgotten his surname, Jason was a town councillor when he joined that. So he was a representative from that route.
What have we got next? The Thatcham school charity. That's Councillor Cotton, he's not using. Berkshire Heritage Forum.
Continuing to do a very fine job in a very fine way. Anything very specific to report back.
Thank you. West Berkshire Suicide Prevention Action Group, that's me. The group met this week actually, and we are continuing to expand and continue to work with as many as we possibly can. So we have always had the refugees forum. And we've now got Karen Reeve attends on behalf of the refugees section, and we've invited Andrea to represent us on the transgender, and we haven't got a member of housing BTQ, so I think she would probably be representing the group as well. We'll continue to provide the courses, and I would urge, so the courses are about how to speak to someone if you think they are on the edge of suicide, thinking about suicide, seem very depressed, and you feel you need to discuss you know, whether they are suicidal with them, whether it's an employee, whether it's a resident, and the course is heavily subsidised. So it should cost about £120 to deliver, but it costs £20. I would highly recommend that everyone goes on it actually. We do 25 courses, and it's to everyone from like Newbury Building Society to lots of schools now that the group are including children. We've delivered quite a few to schools, secondary school staff in particular, and Full Store have been really kind in providing QR codes to go in libraries, stick on the back of toilet doors, so that people can just put their phones to that and get straight onto the website where they can book the course. Yeah, I think that's about it for the last meeting, but I do recommend the course, everybody. And we've got West Berkshire Therapy Centre, our last one.
Madam Mayor, nothing very report at this moment, unless the Blossom said that she knew there was something to report. Right, it's ongoing, it's ongoing, it's going to happen.
So that's good to hear. Thank you. Thank you. 30.